into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
We got a little bit of mellow music going right now.
I'm already doing another one. I was expecting something else.
Well, you can watch us live on AfterBuzz TV and the AfterBuzz TV YouTube page, and listen to us on iTunes and SoundCloud to make sure you give that 5 stars and subscribe and tell all your friends about this. I'm sorry we feel a little down today, but there's good reason for it, and we're going to get into it. Welcome to AfterBuzz Tough Enough, everybody. I am Christian Rosenberg. Follow me on Twitter at Real Rosenberg, Instagram at The Real Rosenberg. The lovely lady next to me at Chrissy Reports, it's Miss Christy Olson.
Hello.
And over on the other side, we got at G. Hermoza, who's hanging out on his phone at the moment. Is George Hermoza.
I'm actually texting someone specific.
Okay.
I'm trying to make her feel better.
Okay.
Send her silly stuff.
And next to George, at Steve Kaufmann, it is Steve Kaufmann.
At Steve Kaufmann, that's Kaufmann.
Oh, by the way, Darius says hi.
Darius says hi.
Oh, hey, Darius.
Say it ain't so.
We're so proud of you.
We're going to break down the whole episode, but it's like, what just happened?
Well, the bottom 3 were pretty much everyone's favorites.
It could not have been a worse situation.
Yeah. Like, it could not have been a worse bottom 3, because I didn't want any of that bottom 3 to leave.
No, I agree with you.
And we all knew ZZ would be safe because he's ZZ.
And he's just adorable.
I got a few things to say about that. And then once we get into the show,
Sarah Lee and Daria were my choices. They were my 2 choices for.
They were all of our top 2 for the women.
Not me. I've never been impressed by Sarah Lee.
Oh, that's right.
Really?
She's just been jealous of all the attention we've been given. But.
My favorite is Christy.
Yes! Yay!
The champion.
Vote for Christy.
The champion.
The predictions champion.
Maybe
but only for a couple more weeks.
I remembered her belt today.
Oh, good job.
Yes.
Good job. All right, well, let's get into the show, because Daria was not the only one who went home today. At the beginning of the show, we see all the competitors come back to the barracks after Alex was eliminated, and Deanna is hurt.
Real quick,
yes,
it's Diana.
It is Diana.
I got a tweet. I got a text. I'm like, by the way,
everyone's been saying Deanna.
It's not Deanna. It's Diana.
She packed up her stuff and went home.
That's right.
Princess Di.
Yeah, there we go. I like that.
Was hurt that everyone wanted her to go home. Because,
Well, I was insulted that she wanted to go home.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. Because in wrestling and sports entertainment, you might not get along with everyone in the back, but you still have to maintain a professional working relationship with them. Apparently, Princess Di is just like, nope. Later, I don't care if so many other people wanted this opportunity and I took it from them. I'm just going to go home. And at 2 a.m., without saying bye to anybody, she packs up and leaves. She literally runs away from the competition.
Good riddance. Because she sadly had a really good chance at winning.
Athletically, she arguably was the best one.
And from a reality TV standpoint, she was she was literally stirring that pot to make everybody upset. I'm actually very happy she left, because she could have possibly taken the win from somebody who is way more deserving.
George?
Well, probably there's more to the story.
There is much more to this story, and actually, if you don't mind my interrupting you, she and her fiancé were in an interview that you can all see on WWEToughEnough.com with Lita, where she explained that a good friend of theirs was hurt at the bar that she and her fiancé own back in Washington. So they felt some sense of responsibility in this situation. It happened days before she left. There are several other factors. Lita
she had a wedding to plan.
Exactly. She even said at one point in the interview, I told my fiance I wouldn't be able to do this for 3 months because of the wedding. She basically admitted in the interview that she never had any intention of finishing out this show.
Why were you on the show?
So upset. Like you said, that she took this opportunity from someone else. There is a very legitimate thing that happened to her friend, and he's paralyzed and he's a Navy SEAL, and we certainly would wish a speedy recovery for him. However, it certainly doesn't add up to her leaving.
To clarify my statement, I'm not going against anyone choosing to stay or go on this show, but it's that statement that led me to understand that A, she didn't even plan to stick through this whole show.
Exactly.
B, she had zero interest in honoring a 300-date-a-year contract that she'd win if she won this show.
And get a lot more money than a lot of people that are currently under that contract.
Yes.
And the money was something she cited about leaving this situation apparently could become very costly for she and her fiance because this guy was hurt in their bar, so they're worried about having to pay his what they think are going to be millions of dollars in medical bills. I would certainly think a $250,000 contract would help that. Also, if she needed time to just go home, we know that they get the weekends off, and it sounded like a big issue was that her fiance had to go and deal with the situation at his establishment, so they can't be apart from each other. He apparently was camping out in Florida with her. So it's just all incredibly disappointing that someone else was robbed of the experience, and I don't buy for 1 second that she needed to go for this reason.
We can break this news now.
You want to just break it right now? Break it right now, Steve. Break it right now.
Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green, who has been an alternate this entire time, and hopefully we'll get to speak to her about it and we get to know her story. She was just announced after Tough Enough and Tough Talk tonight. She's joining the barracks. She's sleeping there tonight.
Yeah.
So she's filling in for Diana. So we are now to a number.
What is that number,
4,
Steve?
6, 8.
We're still at 10 now.
Yes, we're still at 10.
At the end of today, it looked like 9, but we're back to 10.
We're back to 10.
And I can't wait for the first clips on next week's episode of Tough Enough to see which girl suddenly goes in like one of those confessionals and be like, it's not fair. Why is she coming in now? Because you know that's happening.
Well, but do you guys agree with that? Should they not have brought Daria back instead?
Well, if Daria gets eliminated, she gets eliminated.
I don't think they should have replaced anyone. I think both were gone. Because at the end of 10 weeks, they're voting for however many people are left. If only 2 women are left for that contract, you're voting between 2 of them. So if 2 people get eliminated in 1 week, you know, I don't wish this on anyone, but there's always a chance it is professional wrestling. Someone might get hurt, and they might have to leave the competition. Yeah. If that happens the week before the finale, are you going to replace them? I hope not.
I mean, it's a double-edged sword. I think once you get to week 9 or 10, then the last eliminated should fill in. I think right now...
But that's the equivalent of we're in week 3. All of a sudden, you're in week 9. Who cares? It's still the same thing.
But I agree that you should have fill-ins. I also agree that, like, ZZ was a fill-in, but he made it to the final... Like, he wound up in the final 13 before episode 1. I think after episode 1 starts, unless, like, 6 people drop in 1 week... I don't see the need to replace Diana.
Even going back to the first Tough Enough season, 10, 15 years ago, they never had fill-ins.
Like, if you got hurt, you're out.
Yeah, people quit, they left. Like, there's no, hey, let's bring in this person in just in case. They were gone. That's one less person in the competition.
Well, I wanted to see her on the show initially just because we saw her have a little storyline with Daniel Bryan and the whole mistress thing, and I wanted to kind of get to know her. I think she's really cute and she has a lot of personality on social media, but maybe it's kind of odd that she is.
Well, and from a wrestling standpoint, I'm excited because this is now only the second actual person with wrestling experience on the show, the only female.
Yes.
So it would be interesting to see what happens with that. I just wanted her from the very beginning.
Yes.
Moving on into the show, Billy Gunn wakes everyone up at the crack of dawn for their usual morning workout, and they're going for their morning run, they're doing their squats, and everyone's just like, someone's missing.
It's less annoying in here.
And Billy just breaks everything down to them that Princess Di has quit, and everyone's just like, Sweet.
Okay.
But, guys, I do want to pause just for a moment, because before we continue on, we'd like to thank our sponsor for supporting the show, Mazda. And Mazda has a very important question for you. Does driving matter to you? There's over 4 million miles of road in the U.S. to find out, and that's a lot of ground to cover. A lot of highways, freeways, wrong ways, long ways, they're all there waiting to be driven on. So do you take that left turn at Albuquerque or just keep going? Do you wake up early Sunday morning for a drive before the traffic does? Or do you take the long winding road home for a change? If driving matters to you, you just get out and drive. Why? Because driving matters. Mazda. And I completely agree with them with that.
I also agree.
So they drive over to some prop house. You like that little segue there? Was that good? Was that good?
Hey,
was that good?
got in a car.
I hope they were in Mazdas because they would have been very comfortable and enjoyed the ride. I know. I've driven lots of Mazdas. They're fun. They're at this prop house because tonight's adventure, tonight's challenge is you're going to create a character. And I'm excited about this because, for one, this is not necessarily Tanner and Patrick's forte. Mm-hmm. Now other people can try to shine. What I didn't like is they forced them to choose something. I wanted them to just create their own thing. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, okay, we'll see what people grab. And in the midst of this, they are welcomed by the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins, who Gabby also thinks is hot. And she wasn't as vulgar as she was last week.
She didn't get a dedicated edit
to
how she felt about Seth Rollins.
No.
Maybe he just didn't have the same effect on her.
Maybe. So the contestants, I guess they're contestants. I don't like using that word though. They have 1 hour.
Are they wrestlers?
They're aspiring sports entertainers.
I like it.
They have 1 hour based on the type of character they drew to find the outfit that works for them, that they feel will get over, and you're going to make a big entrance. I really like the fact that Seth Rollins hung out with them.
Yeah.
And actually kind of was giving them some advice and stuff. Yeah. It wasn't Roman Reigns saying, hey, are you ready to take a Superman punch? All right, see ya. And so I thought that was cool. And he actually seemed, and I've seen lots of interviews with him where he seemed very down to earth, but I saw more of the same with this. He's just super chill and just like, oh, that'd be good. Oh, yeah, you're a big guy, so it's going to be tough to find something for you. I liked it.
Oh, I think he comes off as quite cocky very often, but...
Well, he's also the top villain in the WWE right now.
Well, he did clearly care about giving these people some actual advice that they could use.
Right. So, let's break down the characters as they entered, shall we? First off, we had the Queen of Mean, which was Sarah Lee. You could not have picked a worse thing for Sarah, who is all about the small town, happy-go-lucky girl next door.
She would have been perfect as the farmer's girl.
Yes.
Perfect.
But it didn't help that instead of going just full mean, she just kind of went middle of the road and it was a little either indecisive or kind of just uncomfortable.
Yeah, she just didn't have it in her.
She just felt uncomfortable.
She doesn't have an evil bone in her body.
No. And I like that.
Well, yeah. But I mean, and I'm not trying to compare myself in any way with this, but I'll break it down. I work as a heel in wrestling shows.
Go ahead, compare yourself. You know what this is all about.
All right.
Tell us.
So I work at one company as a babyface play-by-play commentator, and I work as another one as the evil heel owner. I wear the same beautiful rose shirts that you see upon me, but when I'm the heel, I have my hair slicked back. I'm also wearing shades, and I am. If you think I'm cocky here, turn it up times 1,000,000, because I am just a giant D-bag. But that's what the character asks. That's what I'm going for. And the crowd despises me. And I would hope you guys think I'm a pretty good person. But you got to suddenly play that over there, and you got to play it up to it. I mean, I've never had a speeding ticket in my life, so I'm not exactly a very evil person.
Wow.
I know, it's crazy, right? But so you just gotta find it, and you find things that people might find slightly annoying about you, and then you just embellish the crap out of them. A lot of people, with me, I can be a little cocky at times, and obviously I know a lot about pro wrestling. I'm no encyclopedia of sports entertainment, of course, like Mr. George Hermoza.
No one is.
But so I take that, and then I just make it explode whenever I go through that curtain. And you have to do that if you're doing this. You can be the nicest person in the world, and some of the nicest guys that I work with in wrestling come out to the ring as psychopaths, and just guys who just laugh at pain and things like that. And backstage, they're the nicest of the people. You just have to take that and emphasize it, and that's what she needs to work on. I went way too long with that.
No, but it was
Buzz you later.
We're out of time, guys.
And that's the first contestant in this challenge.
Yeah.
But this challenge was the whole episode.
Right, which was
challenge
cool.
and a fight. That was
and a lot of these I like. Then we had Josh as the British Brawler, and I thought he did great.
He did a great job.
He did a good job.
I mean, the look is simple, but that's what he needs. He's working the accent. But
he had the persona.
The persona was
the way
there.
you carry yourself.
I think once we see more of Josh and talking, and especially see it on Tough Talk, he's actually a really charming guy.
Josh last week was starting to grow on me. Josh really moved up the ranks in my eyes today.
I never really
Me
liked
too.
guys that were named Josh, but I like this guy.
Yeah.
Dude, whatever it was, get over it.
He had a breakup with somebody.
Rosenberg knows who I'm talking about.
Well, there used to be an AfterBuzz host named Josh.
Okay.
Then we had the Fallen Angel. This was Daria. She took the name Fallen Angel and made it literal Fallen Angel. I liked the idea of ripping like the halo and the robe off, but who is going to take you seriously if you're being clumsy in the ring?
But think about like Emma. I don't know that that's what she was going for.
How did that work out for Emma on the main roster?
I was just going to say that. Emma was a clumsy character. They brought her to the main roster. She's back in NXT. And the girl she's beautiful and she's a phenomenal wrestler and has great charisma, but that character did not work on the main stage.
I love dark lipstick Emma.
I love this new Emma that's on NXT right now.
The one who shows her abs on Instagram like every day after being very, very quiet for a long time. Yeah, I'm on board.
I got to start following her
She's
Instagram.
yes.
But I mean, I did see where she was coming from, where she was like, "Oh, as an angel, I'm falling." Again, she took it too literally, and then she bust out the devil inside her, and I was like, I mean, the thought process behind it was good. The execution is the part where it kind of failed.
Yeah. She could have made that work, and she did later in the show.
Made it work very well later.
Better than the other two who had been in the bottom three before. We're all a little sore about this, guys.
And in case you can't figure out, and we're going to keep getting into it. Stud Muffin, which was Tanner, he really let me down here.
Really?
Well, the character Stud Muffin, I don't think if I'm seeing a wrestler come out and he's trying to go by Stud Muffin, I'm not thinking of a guy who's coming out in a flannel vest.
Yeah, that would. You're already going pretty far up.
I'm thinking.
You already have an uphill battle.
I'm thinking Stud Lumberjack. If I'm going that way.
I think it was more about the pecs and the abs than the flannel.
But that's part of it. Then why wear it?
Then don't wear a shirt.
But he was going for Stud Muffin, and let me just say, I've just been kind of annoyed by him, not paid that much attention to him, couldn't really care less. But when he walked out, I was like, oh, who is this hot guy? I was sort of like.
Yeah, that was George walking in.
Yeah.
Oh, that explains it. But I was sort of like, oh, he's pulling this out of nowhere and pulling this off. All of a sudden, I'm like, wow, Stud Muffin.
Now, see, I see maybe even no shirt at all. Probably the baby oil it up. And his hair slicked back in the ponytail.
I would be on board with that as well.
But that just visually sounds more like that character name.
Yeah.
This guy's, to me, this could have been the farmer daughter's husband.
I thought he pulled it off okay.
And I didn't even plan that the next one was farmer's daughter. And I didn't hate it.
Wow.
I thought she did. I thought she did pretty good.
I think it was male hateable.
No. I'm trying to be unbiased from a wrestling character standpoint. I teach wrestling students how to cut promos and develop their characters. So this is my area.
All right.
You don't have me teach you how to do a suplex. I teach you how to cut promos.
He taught me how to do a suplex. It did not.
No.
I still don't know how to do a suplex.
No, that's why Steve is not tough enough.
I'm not.
Is that your fault or your fault?
It's a combination.
It's a little column B.
But so I liked the look at the beginning with like the little flannel tied up, kind of taking that off, the jean shorts. No farmer's daughter wears stockings.
And she even said that, but she just didn't care.
Right.
No. She wanted to go out there and skank it up a little bit.
Did she? I don't remember. Was her hair in pigtails?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so that would have been something.
That would have been an easy thing to do.
And not. I know they were talking about like go the whole like stripper route. Obviously, you don't want to go that route. Mm-hmm. She can still be sexy, but still innocent.
Yes, because that is the key thing that the WWE divas do. They are very sexy, but it's still wholesome.
Yep.
They were pushing that hardcore tonight on Total Divas. Keep it PG.
Yep.
The evil intellect. I love this because
For the record, that's kind of like a softball. That's kind of a softball like character.
But
that's cool.
But what I liked was how simple he had no shirt on. He just had the tuck pants. He had some weird shoes and the weird glasses. And then he brought out Lita's dog. And I thought it was brilliant. It was so Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
I loved that idea. And I loved how the other guys thought he was just sucking up by using her dog. Yeah. But he took advantage of the situation. He wasn't doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant idea.
Lita could have not given him his dog.
And then he could have just took a stuffed animal. And it still would have conveyed fine.
Yeah.
And it was a good indicator. We finally saw Patrick has watched wrestling. He's seen what works. He has some unique ideas.
Something that got covered on Tough Talk, and we mentioned it Sunday. Patrick was the only person up at 5:30 in the morning to watch Beast in the East.
Only one.
He tweeted a picture.
Mm-hmm. And it goes back to last week where I said, hey, you don't need to know the history of wrestling to be a wrestler. But you will get a lot more ahead if you know the history and know what's working, know what didn't work, and that's where Patrick comes in. And hey, he killed it. Mm-hmm. I don't think he was the best. We'll get into who I thought was the best, but
we got a few more. Barbie doll, which I mean that one had to have been planned that Amanda got Barbie doll, and again I mean she did all right. I didn't hate it, but it didn't. It was just like, it's a cute girl.
I don't think she tried to go out there and just be pretty. She was trying to put a force behind it a little bit. It fell a teeny bit flat, but it was much better than some of the others.
I mean, it wasn't the worst. No.
I side with that opinion as well.
Gorgeous. She was. Like, who cares what she's doing? You just look at her.
I've said this before. I think Amanda is the closest to a young Trish Stratus we're ever going to see.
Mm-hmm. No, that's Alexa Bliss in NXT right now.
I can't deny that. I cannot currently deny that. She's there though. Like Amanda as a core, as an avatar, if you will,
like a Tori Wilson.
I can see that one. Mm-hmm. That one I can see. Then we got the King of the Ring. The Pharaoh, Mata. Holy crap, this is what I wanted to see.
Yeah. Because he could have they gave him King of the Ring.
I was ready for him to walk out on Raw just like that right now. And that was amazing.
And let's applaud his creativity as well.
Yeah.
They gave him King of the Ring, and he could have just as easily found a crown and then a tunic.
But he went his Egyptian route. He went what he connects with.
Yes.
Which is exactly what you need to do.
And he was the only one who did that.
What did I just say 10 minutes ago? You need to find something about you and just blow it up. And that's exactly what he did.
He looked the part. And even on Tough Talk, obviously they had a little bit more time on Tough Talk to kind of interact with the guys. Hogan loved it. Mm-hmm. He was like, your brother, I already bought my ticket to see you wrestle, brother. I was like, he totally looked the part. Like, he totally looked like a main event caliber guy. I already saw him walking out to Raw or SmackDown in that exact outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Who was next? Bitchy Boss. And I loved this one. This one, I felt it was an athletic Lana.
Yeah. So good. And so we were talking about how Sarah Lee didn't really have the mean in her. Gigi is super sweet as well and very bubbly.
And she brought it out.
It's somewhere in there. And actually, we saw a little bit more of that at the very end of Tough Talk, too. She can get a little sassy. But she just from the second she walked out to pushing everyone aside.
I was just going to say, using the crowd as part of your entrance. In this case, it was the other competitors around the ring kind of shooing them away so while she can get in. Fantastic.
Yes. Who knew she had it in her? I liked it.
And finally, the American hero.
Bless his heart.
The American hero's ZZ from good old Louisiana.
Born on the 4th of July, ZZ.
He was born on the 4th of
He
July?
was born on the 4th of July. He turned 19 Saturday.
Jeez. That just writes itself.
Doesn't it? That guy is so cool.
What was he wearing, though?
He was wearing a Vegas Showgirls hat. Short Daisy Dukes. We're gonna go with Daisy Dukes.
If one of the New York City Rockettes,
Ooh,
an Evil Knievel,
okay.
Yes.
had a baby that was being observed by Super Dave Osborne. That's right. I made a Super Dave Osborne reference on AfterBuzz.
I let that happen.
And let that baby gain 300 pounds. We have ZZ.
Buying it.
Which, by the way, he stuffed himself.
Yeah,
With the water balloon down there.
apparently.
He admitted to.
Did he admit that on Tough Talk?
It was pretty obvious.
Yeah. On Tough Talk, they got in a little closer, and it was like, oh, well,
And
that's.
Billy Gunn was pissed at him.
Booker T as well.
Booker was pissed too. We really saw from Billy.
Did you guys agree with them?
Yes.
You thought it was disrespectful?
Yes. Well, I mean, not. I wouldn't have yelled it as much.
Maybe.
But you're trying to go out there as a character, whether it's a comedic character. Santino Marella is a comedic character. Does he walk out there looking like the spawn of Evil Knievel in a Rockette? No.
Give him time.
All right, we'll give him a couple more years.
He's done.
But he'll have earned it.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, you come out there, you have to think of your physical appearance. Go out there. I'm a big guy. I'm not going to go out to the ring in the little short shorts. And he shouldn't either. So, doing that, and then just the weird head thing, they had an entire row of patriotic things at that prop shop. And that's what he came up with?
You know, I wonder if he's played this role of the comic relief on the show, and they sort of look to him for that. Even on Tough Talk tonight, he had a moment where he busted up all the tension with the laugh. And whenever they need that, they sort of go to him with the mic. And I think maybe he's let that get in his head where he's thinking, okay, they want me to be the funny one. They want me to be funny. I got to be funny. And that he just got a little bit lost in translation.
I'm over ZZ.
Really?
I am absolutely
You're over him now?
Over ZZ.
But ZZ's such a genuine article, though.
I'm over it.
Like, I've liked him for the right reasons, I guess, because like he's such a genuine, like that's him. He'd dress like that. He got a chance to change a little and do it again. He dressed like that.
Well, no, all of them had the same exact outfit.
Okay, you're right. They did have to. I understand it was disrespectful and he missed the mark, but his intentions were so pure.
I'm not denying the fact that he is probably one of the kindest human beings in the world, you know, heart of gold, everything. And I get it, you know, he wants to put a smile on people's faces, he wants to entertain, you know, he wants to be comedic relief. And I love that side of him. And there are so many things out there in this world that can work for him, just not professional wrestling.
And I want to just make a note of someone in the chat roll commented on this. It was like, so we get Mr. Ass and Santino, but ZZ was ridiculous. And I get what you're saying, but you also got to think Mr. Ass, Billy Gunn, his character in that era was him showing off his body and blowing it up. Santino, goofy Italian guy who mixes up his American words and has a cobra. Then again, so are you saying then do Love and Mankind are crazy?
I'm saying,
it is ridiculous. But he took his area and brought it up. He wasn't wearing this crazy. He used the cobra as his finishing move. I mean, so
I'm saying
there
that
are
line
differences with that.
I'm saying that line is pretty thin.
It is a thin line.
Like, you could tweak what ZZ did tonight, and it wouldn't be that disrespectful and wouldn't be that off the wall. That's all. Can we all back off the hate ZZ train?
I love ZZ. I just don't think he should be a professional wrestler.
Yeah, I don't think he should win Tough Enough, but I think as we saw tonight, he won't get voted off Tough Enough.
No.
He has to quit. He has to quit, or he has to make the final 3 and then get cut.
So Patrick won for the men, Georgia won for the women.
I say Mata should have won.
Should have been Mata.
I agree.
But we all agree with Georgia.
I
Yes.
actually thought it should have been Amanda.
I think I was right on with Georgia. A couple quick things in the house before we get to the live question thing. ZZ was hurt that people didn't like his idea.
Yeah, I felt
And,
bad for him.
Gabby aligns herself with Sarah Lee, so Sarah Lee trying to avoid the drama, now aligning herself with the main drama case currently in the house.
I don't like this.
I don't like it at all.
This isn't Survivor. You shouldn't align yourself with anyone.
No. And then Tanner and Patrick actually start fighting, kinda.
Yeah.
They cut away from this quick. Like, what happened?
Well, producers ran in. You saw that everyone was separating them.
Okay, let them fight. Let them fight.
It's not
a
a-
wrestling
that's-
show. It's a physical
it's not a
show.
ring. It's not a ring.
This isn't 20 years ago where people get kicked off of reality shows for getting in physical fights. That's what they want, especially on a show where the point is to be a really good fighter.
It's a really good sports entertainer.
I mean, they should
sports
just let him do
entertainer.
No, that would be a disaster.
I would have been more entertained by seeing the rest of that fight.
I wouldn't have, because I think Patrick would have taken him.
You think so?
He had the upper hand. He had the high ground.
Yeah.
In the sense that Tanner had to approach him, and Patrick was like just saying.
I wanted to see it go down.
But
I think they're both annoying me, to be honest with you.
Who is not annoying you right now, George?
You guys.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you. That's good to know.
Good answer.
No, I mean, I like, out of the house, I like Josh, I like Mata. I think once we get to know Mata really well, I think everybody's going to fall in love with them. But, yeah, just the whole, okay, we get it, dude. You guys are macho guys, you guys want at top of the pack, okay, I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. You want to fight? Let's fight. Dude, get over it, dude.
Let's just see who wins.
Yeah. Also, I do want to point out throughout this entire challenge, they kept asking Patrick's opinion, and Patrick kept cutting everyone down because that's his opinion,
and because he's the one with the wrestling experience.
And that's where this fight came from. It was why are you cutting everybody down?
Right.
And that's the third time they've done that. Asked him his opinion, and then everyone's like, "Why are you talking smack about me?"
It's because it's a reality show.
It's because they asked him.
But it's not like the testimonial asking him a question that they can cut back to. It's in the middle of the challenge. They're like, "What do you think, Patrick?" Mm-hmm. If I were Patrick, I'd be like, "What? I'll give you are you soliciting my honest opinion on this matter? Because I don't think that's my place."
And if you're questioning that, if you're questioning that, then I'm gonna get pissed at you for not answering the question. You're in a catch-22.
But I think that question would show a lot of respect for everything of just, are you soliciting my honest opinion on this matter? Because you'll receive it if you want it, but understand as a contestant, I don't think it's appropriate for me to give it.
Right.
There was no real Q&A section tonight.
Oh, this Q&A section sucked.
But
before we got to that, we saw a little Twitter action between the ladies.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And we found out that Amanda and Gabby actually sort of know each other. They competed in the same bikini competition at some point in time, which Amanda won, and she feels that Gabby is butthurt about that.
I can understand the grudge being held.
I know, right?
I know. I mean, just about a year ago, I ended first runner-up in a bikini contest. I lost to Steve.
Tragic.
That's why
you were robbed.
I was. Thank you, studio audience. I appreciate that.
That's why he sabotaged me on the suplex contest.
Yes. Revenge. So
this further solidifies my prediction that.
Thank you.
Never mind.
So there was pretty much no Q&A section. The only highlight of this was Paige called Gabby Hooker T.
I like that.
Paige was not in a good mood today.
Paige. I don't mean to do the British comparison, but she's so Simon Cowelling this.
But you gotta give Paige some credit. She was in Japan Saturday.
Oh, that's true.
She was in
tired.
Chicago yesterday.
And in Florida today.
And these these screwballs didn't even bother to watch her perform.
Yes.
Oh my God.
On those
If you
shows.
watch
She was
Tough
so
Talk-
hot
That came
on
up
the
on
color
Tough
about
Talk.
that.
I actually
I didn't blame her.
I actually like this dynamic on the panel that the three of us watched Tough Talk and Rosie didn't.
Not yet. I'm gonna watch it at home.
So we get to explain to you what happened on Tough Talk, and we get to see your genuine reaction to all these things. Because before we get into it, I'll tell you the big thing on Tough Talk was the question came up: how many of you were up at 5:30 in the morning to watch Beast in the East?
And Patrick was the only one.
Patrick's the only one who raised his hand, and Hulk Hogan said, "Brother, if I could, I would end this competition right now and give it to you, but I can't." For some reason.
I think the
And Paige
bigger thing
agreed.
was Paige was like, dude, the fact that I'm one of your judges and you can't show me the respect. I flew in, like he said, from Japan, Singapore to Japan to Chicago to here in Florida, Orlando, and you don't have the respect to watch my match on Saturday. And then Patrick, and the best part was Patrick was like, "Oh, I watched it. Anyone else watch it? Tanda, did you watch it? Well, I didn't watch it later. Okay, who did I wrestle? I don't know."
Ooh, and she threatened. She threatened to throw her shoe at him to a point of lifting her foot up beyond the table, and I could only imagine there was a producer on the other side of the camera.
So,
Paige, can you not throw shoes?
I felt like if somehow Daria,
Those are borrowed.
Daria would have been like, "I watched it." I'm like, "Nope, go, you're saved." Or somehow, like, let's find a way to put you back in.
So the bottom three is then announced: Daria, Sarah Lee, and ZZ. And then, however, they are listening to our show because they changed the ending. They gave them another chance at the ring entrance. Then they did their 30-second plea.
They didn't start the voting until after the commercial.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So literally,
so it was like 1 minute.
They announced the bottom three.
The voting was literally 6 minutes.
They announced the bottom three.
Right.
They went to commercial. They came back from commercial, and then you can start voting.
But no, they went to commercial. They did their. You could start voting then.
Nope.
The second entrance.
Not till after the commercial. After they came back from commercial.
After the second commercial.
No.
It's the first commercial.
Bottom three.
Right.
Commercial.
Yeah.
Hey, we're back. So then they say, hey, now redo your entrances.
Right.
Still can't vote.
After that.
Yeah.
Now you can vote. 30-second promo, commercial, come back from commercial, and voting.
That's fine then, because they did their 30-second promo before that last commercial break, so people had time to listen to us. That's what I was getting at.
I agree with you there. My issue is if the second you announce a bottom three, just open the voting.
Yeah.
Just because
that's when I whipped out my phone and went to the app and was like, "Oh,
the bottom
it's not time
three.
yet."
Yeah, the bottom three was open at 45 minutes to the on that hour, and then they don't actually open the voting till 48, 50.
Right.
And then they close the voting by 56, 57. So you literally got less than 10 minutes to actually vote. And I think this is where I can go off on my rant.
Rant it up, Steve. Let's do it.
You guys ready for a rant?
Let's do it.
You guys ready for a rant?
Okay, I have a very brief rant.
Okay.
Those of you listening to my voice obviously are enjoying Tough Enough. Many of you, just by nature of how people watch television today, aren't watching it live and therefore aren't voting. There's a way to vote for your favorites without watching live. I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying you have to do it. I am saying there are many websites that allow you to schedule a tweet. Twuffer.com being one of them. You schedule a tweet to happen.
Are you being paid right now?
I'm not being paid by Twuffer.com. I should be being paid by.
Keep going, Steve. Keep going.
Our listening audience understands that completely. Go on. Schedule hashtag Tough Enough. The contestant you like. Schedule that tweet to happen between 5:50 and 5:58. That will ensure that your vote gets counted, because I did the math, at least just on Twitter. Daria got 83 tweets.
That's it.
Hashtag Tough Enough Daria got 80.
There are very low tweet numbers across the board.
And the tweet numbers were all under 500. I know the app probably does better. I know the text probably does better. I know a lot of us watch this show. I'm just saying, if you want your vote to be counted, that's a method you could use. I'm not even saying they'll count scheduled tweets. I'm just saying that that's a thing we should do.
I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote. But I love these two people, but I have a legitimate beef with Daniel Bryan and Paige. Daniel Bryan for the obvious reason. Come on, man. You fell in love with her.
Your argument was standing Brandon. Come on, man. Come on, man.
But it was a big surprise that he named Daria.
Yeah,
it seemed like she was one of his
absolutely.
faves.
Absolutely. And Paige, because when Daria was trying to do the 30-second promo, Paige kept interrupting her like over and over again. Let her do her thing. This is her life or career on the line.
I'm going to play the other side of this. Because when I watched those the bottom three, Daria, and as for someone who works in professional wrestling, Daria said the wrong thing.
She did.
Daria said she is going to bring legitimacy into the WWE.
What she meant to say.
I know it's not what she meant. I know she wasn't meaning that she's a legit fighter and these other people aren't legit fighters.
To this competition.
Yeah, obviously,
The question was what. The question compared her to the rest of the contestants.
Yeah,
so that's what she was talking about. But she didn't repeat that.
We all know what she meant, but the biggest thing is, does Paige have a right to interrupt her while her...
Yes. They have a right to interrupt any of them.
Also,
during their last 30-second
I think they would. I think they should.
Then why didn't you interrupt everyone else? I mean, it's just fair, Give everybody the same
I agree
opportunity
with you.
to voice your final opinion.
why did we cut into Daria's time? Because she got 30 whole seconds that got interrupted.
Yeah, that was my point.
Then why are we interrupting? Those 30 seconds you should not interrupt anyway.
Say that after the 30 seconds, or say that on Tough Talk, but don't say it while she's trying to give her last 30 seconds,
Also,
which apparently was the very last time she was able to speak.
Yeah.
And by the way, she did the best in the second chance for the
By
entrances.
far.
She did.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Also, I have to clarify in the chat.
And Zizi just talked. That's not an entrance.
Oh, Zizi, in that second chat.
Right there where I was like, dude, I'm done with this guy.
I have to clarify in the chat from my rant.
All right, clarify in the chat.
Whoever you like, schedule that tweet to happen. If they're not on the bottom three,
You're still tweeting about them.
then it's just a tweet. If they are on the bottom three, it's a vote.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
So,
if you're listening to my voice and you don't watch live and you want your vote to count, that's a way.
So
Steve's got it all figured out
when
for you.
everything is all said and done, and they even changed the whole graphic to show the votes as well. It wasn't going to the big screen behind them. They changed that also. Daria, our AfterBuzz Daria, our lovely, lovely Daria, only got 14% of the vote and was sent home. And then this was the very first time that they had Renee Young immediately approach the eliminated person. It just happened to be Daria. And it was one of those... I always hate this on all reality shows, where the second they get eliminated, they're so sad. Microphone right in the face. Hey, how do you feel? We know how you feel. You're devastated.
Oh, that's a reality show. That's what you sign up for, and that's sort of the last hurrah. The hardest part of it. You know what I mean? And you could see on Daria's face, this was the worst setup absolutely possible. Against anyone else, she would not have gone home.
No.
And you could see on her face, when the final or the bottom three emerged, she knew that those are two of the fan favorites. There was an interview posted on social media where Lita was helping her prepare for doing her entrance again. And she actually said, they put me in the bottom three with the people with the most votes. So she... maybe knew this was coming. I think you could see it on her face, and that just made it even more sad.
Yeah, once they announced, I saw
it even harder to
because it was
watch.
Daria announced first, and then Sarah Lee, and then Zizi. Once they announced Zizi, you can tell Daria's like, oh crap.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I strongly feel that she would have won out had it been anybody else. Anybody else in there besides those two.
So can you just make the bottom three every week and just somehow skirt by?
That's a good point, and something that I wanted to discuss with you, gentlemen, because the ladies keep throwing back and forth. You're here because you're hot. This is fake, and this and blah, blah, blah. It sort of seems like Sarah Lee. I haven't seen what she brings at all. They all say she's not athletic. She doesn't have personality.
She's athletic.
It seems like she's the one who's just there because she's pretty.
No,
and she's gorgeous.
She's a bodybuilder. She's
the rest of the contestants say they've not been impressed by her athleticism.
Because some people are built for show, others are built for go. Right. She looks like she might just be built for show.
Physically, if you're comparing her to the other women on the show, she looks like she'd be physically the strongest as far as like lifting the most weight and things like that.
Yeah,
but so far. Now we were talking about that first week. Oh, we didn't really see much of her, but it's just the first episode. Now we're 3 episodes in. We still really haven't seen much. And that's why my prediction on the favor for the women's side has changed. And why don't we just get our predictions in right
Let's
now?
do this.
Let's do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So, now we're 3 weeks in. We're down to, I guess, we're now back to 10 because
Yes.
Chelsea's in now. Steve, who's your pick for man and woman?
And who will get eliminated next week as well.
And who will get eliminated next week?
I'm sticking with Patrick.
Okay.
I agree with Hulk Hogan. I agree that he was the only one up to watch Beast in the East, and next to Tanner, who's the second most likely, the only one who noticed.
Okay.
So Patrick.
Okay. Female side?
This is the first week I'm not saying Sarah.
Because I said it now, you got to do it too. I get it.
Wow. No. Amanda.
Really?
I'm on the Amanda train.
Okay.
I was just going to say, the Sarah train has come to a stop, people.
You guys need to get on board the
A
Amanda
screeching
train.
halt.
I'm also on the Sarah train. I have one foot in both trains. It's really difficult.
Well, welcome aboard the Amanda train, Steve.
Good to see a familiar face on the Amanda train. And I think next week I'm going to stick with last week's elimination prediction because I think Gabby needs to go.
Okay.
I think Gabby should go.
All right. George.
Let me just say that I saw your interview with Daria, a couple days ago that you did.
Yeah.
And, okay, fine. I'm over Sarah Lee. She has a boyfriend. But apparently,
You missed out, Sarah.
not that matters anyways, then everybody knows me. But apparently George is single, and how is that, that's such a natural thing, George. Hey, meet Georgia.
My God.
Georgia, meet
she's
George.
so sweet.
Hey, have you met her? Her name is Georgia.
Is that
My
why
name
you're
is
picking her to
George.
win?
Absolutely.
Jesus Christ.
And I told Daria to put in a good word for me.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go completely opposite. I think I either had Patrick or Tanner winning.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with either Mata or Josh. I love Mata's look, and even when he put out the Pharaoh thing, that even emphasized it a lot more. Josh, like I said, I think once you see his personality a lot more, like I said, you see it a lot more in Tough Talk because they have more mic time. Dude, that guy's a funny guy, very charming, Yeah. So, but as far as elimination, I think we're gonna see Gabby get eliminated. I think we're gonna see the true Gabby. You saw it in Tough Talk. She's just not a nice person. Just not a nice person. So hopefully she won't be there after next week.
Christy.
Yeah. Well, I was still thinking that it was going to come down to Gigi and Amanda, with Amanda for the win, and I'm going to stick with that. But I could definitely change my opinion next week when we see Chelsea.
Okay.
And I'm definitely still calling for Patrick. I have been sticking with him since week 1. And, I think if you guys have sort of become disenchanted with Sarah Lee, then maybe the rest of the world has as well, and maybe she will be going home next week.
She did get the most
But
votes,
it should
right?
be Gabby. Gabby is not a nice person.
But didn't she get more votes than Zizi?
I don't remember. I think Zizi got the most.
Still got more votes.
Yeah, there was still quite a large margin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Male side, again, as I pretty much say every week, my heart is with Patrick since he's the wrestler one. But right behind him now with me is Josh. Yeah, because that guy's showing me more and more stuff each weekend, and he would be a guy that I would enjoy watching on a show. Mata too. He was my pick in the very first week, so I like all of them. Female, I'm going Georgia. Not because George picked her, but because I think right now she is the best overall performer that remaining in the women. And I also think Gabby's going home next week. I'm going to go with that also. So that's going to wrap up our Tough Enough AfterBuzz. Like I said, I just spoke with Daria yesterday, and I think I'm going to be speaking with her tomorrow morning I guess.
I'll talk to her this time.
Will you be here there tomorrow morning?
I'll be here at 10 a.m.
So maybe George will talk with her tomorrow morning to console her, because we all console, because we love you, Daria.
Yes.
And
you made
Daria,
us so proud. It was so fun to be able to watch you on the show.
And
Thank you for putting it in.
Sarah Lee did get 52%.
Okay. Oh, so she got them.
Yeah.
So Daria, please come in anytime during these shows so we can chat with you about it, and we'll talk with you more tomorrow. But in the meantime, you can chat with all of us on the wonderful platforms of social media. Steve, how can people reach out to you?
People can reach out to me at Steve Kaufmann. That is KAUFMANN. This fabulous shirt I am wearing is courtesy of ProWrestlingTees.com, designed by the Blue Meanie, who I've interviewed on Spotlight On.
you can find me at G Hermoza. This awesome shirt was provided by Pro Wrestling Tees. You can follow them at Pro Wrestling Tees, and you can follow me at G Hermoza on Twitter and on Instagram.
Christy.
They have fantastic women's t-shirts as well at Pro Wrestling Tees, which are fabulous. You can see pictures of me wearing those shirts at Christy Reports across the board. And please check out ChristyReports.com for a new juicy interview with Miss Alicia Fox. Yeah.
And you can get ready to purchase a Christian Rosenberg t-shirt at Pro Wrestling Tees. The store will be opening very soon. And you can follow me on Twitter in the meantime at Real Rosenberg and Instagram at The Real Rosenberg. And of course, all your other AfterBuzz news and gossip, follow them on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. For Steve Kaufmann, George Hermoza, Christy Olson, I'm Christian Rosenberg. We'll see you later.
Good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
AfterBuzz TV. From executive producers Maria Menounos,
expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.